Hey, everybody. I just want to let you know that I'm a real person still and that we are actually communicating with each other on some level. I'm not just a voice out in space talking with you. Anyway, we're going to try a video today with the Zoom website, and I've experimented with other classes. The scrolling and the writing are a little choppy, but at least you could see my face and I can actually toggle between screens. But speaking of seeing my face, let's get me out of there. You don't need to see me anymore. Okay, so these are word problems, but they are age word problems. They compare people's ages now versus in the past versus in the future. So let's get right to it. Lauren is 1/3 as old as her dad. Next year, the sum of their ages will be 50. Find Lauren and her father's age. So just reading that, that sounds a bit complex. So what I did was I broke it down into a table for us. Apparently we have their ages now, and then they're talking about their ages next year. So how old are they now? Lauren is 1/3 as old as her dad. So the dad gets compared to, so the dad is X. Lauren's 1/3 as old as that, so I'll call it 1/3 X. Next year, well, how old is everyone next year? They are 1 year older, right? So +1. So if I am 18 right now, which I'm not, but if I was 18, next year I'd be 18 + 1, which is 19. So if dad is X years old, next year dad will be X + 1 years old. And Lauren is 1/3 X right now. She'll be 1/3 X + 1 next year. But it says next year, the sum of their ages will be 50. So I just need to take their ages next year, these two ages, and sum them up. So 1/3 X + 1, and then plus dad's age, X + 1, will equal 50. So now I am here. So right now, to get a common denominator with the X's, right now there's a 1 in front of the X. You agree? Or, better yet, 1 divided by 1. But instead of saying 1 divided by 1, watch what I'm going to do. Magic of erasing. I am going to say 3 divided by 3. I'm just getting a common denominator. So 1/3 plus 3/3 is 4/3 X. And then 1 + 1 is +2 equals 50. Then I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides and get 4/3 X equals 48. Now that I'm here, how can I get rid of 4/3? You guessed it, I can multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3/4. The 3's cancel, the 4's cancel. And if I multiply this by 3/4, remember, this is 48 divided by 1. I can reduce. 4 goes into 48 12 times, and 12 times 3 is 36. So X is 36. That's the father's age. So dad is 36 years old, and Lauren is 1/3 of that. What's 1/3 of 36? 12 years old. Those are their ages right there. Number 1 is solved. Pause, rewind if you need to, especially if you want to understand how I worked with the fractions. Number 2, Jackie is 4 years older than Matt. 2 years ago, their ages totaled 16. So their ages now, Matt's being compared to, so Matt's X. Jackie is 4 years older than that, so X + 4. How old is everyone 2 years ago? How old was everyone 2 years ago? If I am 18 now, which I'm not, I was 18 minus 2 years old 2 years ago, or 16. So if Matt's X years old now, he was X minus 2 years old 2 years ago. And Jackie was X + 4 minus 2 years old, or let's simplify that. That would be X, 4 minus 2 is +2. So 2 years ago, which were these ages, their ages totaled 16. So I'm going to take the X + 2, which is Jackie's age 2 years ago, plus Matt's age 2 years ago, and I'm going to set them equal to 16. 2's here cancel. I'm left with 2x equals 16, and I'm left with x equals 8. It says find Jackie and Matt's age. So x is Matt's age. So Matt's 8 years old. Jackie's 4 years older than that, so she is 12 years old. There we go. Number 2 is solved. Okay, and remember, these are word problems, so years old, I apologize, and years old. And 12 years old, and 8 years old. Mr. Cody, do we have to write that? Yes, because the next problem you're going to see is a bit different. All right. James is 5 times as old as his 7-year-old daughter. I'm going to stop right there. They're telling us that the daughter is 7 years old. So I got the daughter here, 7. 5 times 7 is 35. So that means James is 35. Problem solved, right? I know their ages. Well, let's move on. How long before he is twice as old as her? So in number 1, I knew that it was next year. In number 2, I knew that it was 2 years ago. In number 3, I don't know how many years it's going to take before he's twice as old. Right now, he's 5 times as old as his daughter. So I'm going to say in X number of years, because that's what we don't know this time. How old will anyone be in X number of years? Well, they'll be X years older. So James will be 35 plus X years old, and the daughter will be 7 plus X years old. Now it's a straight translation because this oftentimes confuses some people. So please pay attention here. How long before he, and how old is he? He is 35 plus X years. So I'm going to say 35 plus X. That's how old he is in X years. Is, what does is mean again? Is means equals twice as old. So twice as old as her. 2 times her age. So 2 times 7 plus X. This also makes logical sense. Imagine this is a seesaw. If he's twice as old as her, you have to take her age and multiply it by 2 in order to balance the seesaw, because he is twice as many years as her. His number is twice as big as hers. Okay, let's do the algebra. So this is going to be 14 plus 2x, and this is going to be 35 plus x. I am going to subtract the x over to the right, and I'm going to subtract the 14 over to the left, and I'm going to get x equals 35 minus 14, which is 21. And the answer is it's going to take 21 years, not 21 years old, but it's going to take 21 years for his age to be twice as much as her age, twice as large as her age. That's it. Okay, 4. I'm going to do 3 more examples. Luke is 5 years older than Brianna. Brianna's X. Luke is X plus 5. In 3 years. So in 3 years, that's 3 years in the future, Brianna will be X plus 3. And Luke will be X plus 5 plus 3. Add 3 years to both, which in this case equals X plus 8. 3 times her age. So this is Brianna in 3 years, 3 times her age. So 3 times Brianna's age, so 3 times X plus 3, will be, that's the future tense of is, twice his age. For time purposes, I'm actually going to leave that right there for you. You can solve that from there. Okay, but I wanted to set that up. The big problems that I wanted to get to before closing out this video were numbers 5 and 6. 5 has a lot going on, so let's unpack it. Bruce is 3 years younger than Justin. All right, Justin must be X then. That's who we're comparing to. 3 years younger than. So Bruce is X minus 3 years old. 5 times Justin's age 3 years ago is the same as 4 times Bruce's age in 2 years. Find both their ages. Whoa, let's figure this out now. So I saw 2 different time frames going on in that sentence. I see 3 years ago, and then I see in 2 years. Okay, so I set up 2 columns. 3 years ago. How old was anyone 3 years ago? They're 3 years younger, so X minus 3. And Bruce will be X minus 3 minus 3, which is X minus 6. In 2 years. Now remember, this is always comparing to the present. So How old will Justin be in 2 years from now? He'll be X plus 2 years old. And how old will Bruce be in 2 years from now? He'll be X minus 3 plus 2 years. Or minus 3 plus 2 is X minus 1. So now that we've set up everything there, now let's read the sentence. 5 times Justin's age 3 years ago. So this is Justin's age from 3 years ago, yes? Is the same as, so X minus 3 is the same as Bruce's age in 2 years. This is Bruce's age in 2 years, X minus 1. And that is how I can set that up right there. Except, what did I forget? 5 times Justin's age 3 years ago is the same as 4 times Bruce's age in 2 years. So I forgot the 5 and the 4. So now I need to distribute. So 5x minus 15 equals 4x minus 4. If I subtract 4x to the right, I get x. If I add 15 over to the right, I get 15 minus 4, which is 11. And I get x equals 11. That's Justin's age. Justin is 11 years old. And Bruce is 3 years younger than that. So then Bruce is 8 years old. Last but not least, I want to get to this problem right here. Peter and Mary's ages total 17. I'm going to stop right there. Peter can be X years old. Mary could be X years old. It doesn't matter. I don't know either of their ages, but I know that their ages total 17. We did an example like this, or multiple examples like this, over the past 2 lessons. So when 2 numbers add up to something, one of them could be X, the other one can be the total minus X. Those are their ages. If Peter was twice as old as he is now, so Peter's X years old, if he's twice as old, that's 2x. He would be is the future tense of is. 1 less than, ooh, less than is a flip-flop word. So instead of 1 minus, I'm going to do minus 1. 5 times Mary's age. 5 times Mary's age. So 5 times what Mary is now, 17 minus x. There's my translation. So now I multiply and I get through with this right here. So 5 times 17 is 85 minus 5x minus 1, and that equals 2x. I'm going to add 5x to the other side. I'll get 7x equals 85 minus 1, which is 84. And if I take 84 and divide it by 7, I get x equals 12. So that means Peter is 12 years old, and Mary is 17 minus 12, which is 5 years old. I went fairly quickly, so you can rewind and play this back as often as you wish. Hope this helped. Get to the homework.